You can take off the mask.
Do they
right?
also see the presentation?
I think the camera is pointing the way that they will.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Hey everyone, we are sort of ready to start. So team 1 is on the stage now. I hope everyone can see the stage and some people there. Maarten, you cannot see the stage?
Well, I can see the stage, but I cannot see the screen.
You cannot see the screen.
I see there is a screen, but it's hard to read.
Okay.
To tell what's on the
Then
screen.
what we can do is no, that's not, no, because you guys are way more important than the screen. You're pitching, so we're not going to share the screen. We're going to look at you. So the audience will see your presentation. They will probably see the pictures, but not the text. Don't worry about it. Yeah, if you're ready, then I will start the timer. And we'll be strict in timing this as well. So team, go ahead.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. We are Team Rise to Success, and we want you to meet Ben, the soldier. Ben had a really stressful day at the field, and he is coming back and is really looking forward to have a nice fresh meal and relax. Hello. And when he's arriving at the base, he sees already a lot of soldiers eating, and they are complaining and mopping, like, I don't like this plain meal. And when he got his meal from the MSK, he got it from a cook, and the cook is like not happy also with what he's serving him. So it's like a forever ago packed food he already warmed up 2 hours ago, and he gives it to Ben. And Ben is not happy. He looks at the food and he thinks, oh, they're right. It looks kind of like a microwave food. So he's still not satisfied, and then he's going to eat, and he's eating the food, and then he's still not satisfied because he thinks it tastes all the same and it's really, really salty. So there are a lot of problems to get contact.
All right. So what if we transform the idea of military base a bit? So what if, to some extent, it were transformed into something like a village? Just think about it. Soldiers spend weeks or months on missions, and well, to lessen the environmental impact and to generally improve the quality of life.
Right, my speakers?
There should be should provide some sort of quality of life. And then our vision is cooking and farming on site in the base, create a dynamic supply chain and allow local sourcing without compromising for military efficiency or food safety. This, we have 3 pillars, which consist of very nice animation: satisfaction, safety, and sustainability. So basically, a satisfactory experience, safety in food and military, and
yes. When you look at satisfaction, we as Team Rise to Success want to create a nice experience for the soldiers in both the tasting and the meal experience. And we want to do this by using a grow variety of herbs, which will provide the food with variety and color and texture, and it will enhance the overall experience of the meal. And with the fresh herbs, it will make the food more appealing, and it will remove the perception of microwave foods. Okay, our time is up, but we also want to look at safety and sustainability. Should we wrap it up?
No, sorry, time's up,
Okay,
guys.
sorry.
We need to be strict.
Okay. Well, okay, we want them to feel happy. That's the main point.
Okay, well, point taken. Thank you, guys. Please stay here, and maybe some other people from the team can come up to the stage as well. I would like to give the microphone first to 2 of the expert panel members who are here today as well. Berdine, do you want to be the first to react? And then afterwards we go to the rest of the experts who are online.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. What I understand of it, you would make a military farm, and in the farm you will grow herbs and spices, maybe. That's the only thing you will grow, or will there be more fresh components?
Generally, our idea is not limited to organic, but also maybe fungi.
Okay. Did you take in account the time which is needed to farm products?
Yeah, I think that's why we thought about herbs first, because herbs grow really fast, right? And with the herbs, then you can make a meal way more special in short term.
Okay, so in the first instance, it's you mean to grow herbs to make it appeal that the meal is more freshly made. And the other components, maybe they will be produced before.
Because also things like rice are more easily to make and then ship, and then that they still have taste and nutritious value. Some other products like fruits and vegetables can have.
Yeah, okay. And also like the herbs can provide the color if it's like served fresh, not heated, and the texture is still intact.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. It's very nice to hear to please the military in the field with fresh products. And when you think about build the products, about the water consumption for the herbs, the ground you need for that, and the knowledge for personnel, how do you think you can manage that?
So first of all, to have dedicated growing them, maybe a bit. We just have to give some time to that. It's generally something that we could imagine that the cooks can do, which would give them some more, like it's a step maybe towards doing a really nice meal. And I kind of got the first part of the question. If you could repeat that.
For what you think about the conditions of the weather, the water consumption, the ground you need for it.
Yeah, we didn't get to that really. We had in the presentation. Our idea was to have a sort of a modular system so that you don't have this ground stuff, and then in sustainability we would have talked about composting, so make the camp a bit more circular. So that would take into account the fertilizer and the ground, and then water is indeed is a scarce resource, especially when you're somewhere in the Middle East, I reckon. Well, let's just say we're thinking about it. We're working on it.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And the point of our idea is not really about the farming. It was about on-site production of food. So farming is one option, but we're also exploring more technological innovations like maybe 3D printing or other innovations. And that, of course, works different from farming, and maybe more solutions are in that technology direction. So that's what we're exploring now.
Yes, I understand. Thank you. And when I look, we on military troops there are in all over the world. Is it your solution? Is it possible in different climate conditions all over the world? Is that?
Yeah. You can grow maybe different things on the different places. That will be also nice. Maybe if you first go to another country and then go to another country that the food is also different, maybe that grows there, and maybe make it personalized on the environment and the climate on what you can grow there. But I think we didn't thought that out yet.
Okay, yeah, all right.
But I think with our current technology, especially in the like Wageningen University, we are kind of focusing on that aspect. I think we can growing the plant in like control climate.
Mm-hmm.
Like our technology is capable of doing that, and we also can like incorporate some kind of sensor. So like it's measure the water requirement of the plant and like the sunlight. Yeah. So basically it's all control. So we don't have any limitation of the outside climate because it's grow inside.
Yeah, you can good manage it. All right. Thank you. No questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle, Michelle, Maarten, I think I can ask you to.
Yeah, do we still have time for this team? Do we still have time, Sabine, for this team?
Yeah, I think one question for Maarten, and then we'll go to the next team.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Team Rise to Success. Always hard to do the kickoff. I hope you can hear me properly. Probably not, as you. All right. Okay. If I had to ask you one question or give you one thought, bear in mind that this mobile field kitchen, whatever it may look like in the future, should be able to move at least within every 24 hours. So is it then still feasible within your concept to produce food on site, combined with the fact that it should be done with less personnel as possible? So it should be a personal extensive solution. So in what way can you automatic make the system of growing food or farming food, of producing food? To what extent is that possible?
I think, thank you, Maarten. I think that's an important piece of feedback for you guys to take along in further thinking. So I would like to thank you very much for your presentation. And please, you can leave the microphones here and we'll wait for the next group. So you can go back to your room. One general remark. No, not for you guys, just go ahead. So group 2 can now come to the main room. And I would like to ask the students, I didn't want to interrupt, if they're on stage or closer together, don't forget we wear these mouth masks because we're still in the corona age. Even though it's a bit more difficult to understand. And here comes group 2.
Maybe Sabine, because we had a bit of a chaotic start. Jelle van Leeuwen, he's one of the experts in the expert panel, and students don't know him yet. So maybe Jelle, you could introduce yourself shortly. So meanwhile, the team 2 can prepare.
Yeah, great.
Yes, thank you. I'll keep it short then. My name is Jelle van Leeuwen. I'm a bioprocess engineer from Wageningen. I used to be a researcher at the Food and Biobased Research Department of Wageningen University, mainly focused on functional proteins from microalgae and seaweeds. Now I'm part of the society-based education team at Wageningen University, where we look for companies, organizations who want to participate in the education of Wageningen University, specifically on consultancy-related projects with the students. So I look for the right organizations and connect them to teachers, do some student team coaching as well on the side if I have time. So very interested to see what the students have come up with today.
Well, thank you very much. And I also saw your link. Are they ready or? Yeah? Okay, they're ready. Okay. Thank you very much for introducing yourself.
So
yes.
Team 2 is ready now.
Okay.
And they're going to introduce themselves. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
Well, imagine cooking for a lot of people and only half of them show up. You have to throw away all the food that is prepared. Well, this is a regular problem for an NSK cook. One of them mentioned that he has to throw away 60 meals per day because soldiers just go away somewhere else and have better food. This is because of restrictions of the current MSK concept. And we as a team want to change this. And we will focus on personalization, minimalistic supply chain, and fresh food. We will achieve this by implementing opportunities to prepare fresh food on the spot of the training locations. And we use a planning app for menu designs, ingredient lists, amount of meals and briefings for the cooks. And we will expand options of the kitchen and introduce steam pans rather than only a steam oven, and ingredients that we were bought by a local supplier that is tested on safety on beforehand.
And this will give us the opportunity to move away from the current disliked dishes, from the current MSK concepts. And therefore, RRD will create more satisfaction to both the soldiers and chefs. It will lead to less waste because we will not use single packaging anymore, and the leftovers from cooking get frozen. Furthermore, it will also lead to a reduction of unnecessary energy sources and resources, for instance from transportations and processing and packaging. And finally, due to the less processing of the foods, it will also increase the nutritional value of the meals. And because of our interdisciplinary team and expertise, we can tackle both the environmental and the social sustainability, as well as the safety and the tastiness of foods. And finally, this will lead to more satisfaction to both soldiers and chefs.
Thank you. Yeah, you can applaud your team members, right? I'm asking the team members on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would like to ask if I can have one of your microphones, so I can use it for the computer, and then you guys can use the other one for the answers. I would like to first go to Jelle, who just introduced himself, to give feedback to this group.
Yes, thank you. Nice presentation. Strong opening with the chef that has half his people not show up. Seems like a problem to me. I see a strong focus here as well on environmental waste, food waste mainly. So I couldn't really. I'm not sure I really understand what your solution is. So what are you going to deliver in the end that will solve this problem?
Yeah, I can answer this question. So we should go with the 2 steps for our solution. So first, food that is bought more locally and prepared from the location itself. And combined with the planning app, you prevent that a lot of people don't show up for the dinner, so you prevent food waste. And also the fresh food that you can prepare on the location can be stored in the freezer afterwards when it's not consumed. And with the current meals that are already prepared and then frozen and then heated, you cannot freeze again. But with the freshly prepared food, you can. So that's also preventing food waste. And also plastic packaging material, because you prepare the food on the location. So that's our environmental sustainability.
Interesting. So I see also a large social aspect in this, behavior of the customer, so to say. What do you see as the main bottlenecks in achieving this?
Well, I think one of the main bottlenecks of our solution is the use of the Plan app, because we really have to convince the soldiers to use this app and be strict in signing up for meals so that they do not forget it. And it's also part of behavior training. So you train the soldiers to,
Yes, the behavior of the soldiers, but I also think what we were discussing with the soldier we talked to today is also the time and the safety, and there's a lot of regulations that prevent that from happening now. They were talking, for example, maybe it will be difficult on missions, but in training locations in, for example, Germany, everybody can go to the supermarket and it's safe for the normal citizen, so it should be safe for the military as well. And we really want to explore if it's suitable to just buy food from a wholesaler and prepare it on the spot. And then in the app, you can have a guide on how you should prepare it so it's safe. So we really want to explore that.
Okay, thank you. Interesting approach. I'm very curious to hear what the other panel members think.
Yeah, so are we. Mark, can I ask you to give your feedback?
You talk about a very good presentation from my side. Personalized food. How you get your information for personalized information? How think you about it?
I'm not sure if I heard it correctly, but were you asking how will you gather the information to make it personalized?
Correct, yes.
Yes, we will partly use the planning app. So before they even go into training, people can fill in their preferences in the app, and then the chefs or a team of kitchen staff, they will see what's suitable. And then, for example, if a lot of people choose one option, then they will go with that option and they will see what ingredients they need and how they can gather all the materials they need to actually make that when they're on the training. And then when they're on the training, they can also use the app if it's suitable to say if they want to eat the food that day and how big of a portion they want.
And you think about create the meals, do it by people or do it by a machine?
You mean the fresh meals?
The fresh meals?
Yeah, by people, by chefs.
Okay, by chefs. Okay, good. Thank you. Do you have questions?
Thank you for the presentation. It was very nice. Have you also considered how the meals are prepared by personnel, like you talked to Mark, but what kitchen be where you prepare the foods? Have you thought about it?
You mean the MSK as it is right now and what we have to change?
Yes.
Yeah, we asked today a soldier that we spoke to. He works in the MSK and he said he will definitely need the, what was it called? Combi pan steam thing. Yeah, kind of stew and then things to boil. So we have to do more research about what exactly it is that we need. But we want to turn away from the steam ovens because we can still use them for some things, but right now it makes especially the vegetables really overcooked and soggy, and that's one thing almost all the soldiers in all the interviews mentioned. So I think we really want to tackle that problem, but we still have to do more research about how exactly it is that we can do that.
Yes, maybe you would choose for traditional cooking methods, but maybe you have something new.
Yeah, hopefully we find some innovative cooking materials.
Yes, and you also started with the environment and less plastic. What is your idea to packing the meals, which has to be transported in the fields? Will it still be in plastic, or do you have another solution for it?
So this fresh cooking is really for on the trainings, and in the field it won't be suitable because if you're in a forest, it will be difficult to do this. But we definitely want to also tackle the presentation of the packaging there because we ate it today and there was plastic in our food and the package didn't really want to open. So we want to reduce plastics there and make it maybe a foldable package that you can make in a plate. It will be biodegradable. But yeah, still a lot of research to be done.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So thanks, Team 2. You're welcome. Food for victory. We're going to switch to the next team over here. So we're going to mute for a little while and then we'll be back when the next team is on stage.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go. Yes. Imagine you're a soldier on a mission and you're going back to the base and you're craving for this really delicious meal. However, all there is an MSK meal, and we investigated this.
Yes.
Hi everyone, we're here today at the combat Kazerne and we're going to see if the soldiers are enjoying their meals. Let's see if we can find one. Oh hey, I see one. What?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying your meal?
Well, not really. It's kind of bland. You know? The ingredients are mixed together. It's I don't know, kind of mushy. I don't know why.
So nice.
I wish they had better stuff.
Yes, as you can see, these meals result in unmotivated and sad soldiers. Do you want to turn this sad soldier into a happy soldier full of energy?
We as Fresh Food Army have a perfect solution. We will use different compartments which are easy to swap and can be replaced by fresh ingredients. This will offer a lot of combinations.
Okay, so our concept is to separate the different compartments. So the compartments for vegetables, protein, and carbohydrates will be packaged separately. And there can also be a package for toppings such as sauces or nuts. And this will be placed in a base which is made of a reusable material, so it's hard. And they can place it together and the soldiers can eat out of it.
Yes, because of the separate compartments, frozen ingredients can be replaced for fresh alternatives when they are available. This use of separate compartments will give flexibility to the cooks and allows for the different compartments to be cooked at different temperatures and for different amount of times.
But of course, we also really value the opinion of the soldiers and want to know what they think of the food. So how can we know this? Well, we incorporated an app. Or we will incorporate an app which the soldiers can use to give feedback for their meals on each day. We can use this knowledge to develop future meals more according to the soldiers' needs. Additionally, this app could be used for the soldiers to choose different combinations of the compartments.
So, in conclusion, we want to create a solution where we make a satisfying meal experience with personal and fresh food, and we think it's time to change the future for soldiers.
Nah, perfect timing.
Yeah. Thank you. Can I have one of your microphones? Yes. And we'll leave this one here. I'm first going to the online panel. Maarten, do you want to give your reaction to this pitch?
Yes, thanks for this nice introduction of your plan. And I like the combination, this hybrid combination with the movie clip. And I like also the thought on the separate compartments, so you can really see what different types of food do you have in front of you and what you eat. I have two questions. If you use this fresh fruit, although it's frozen, where will it be packed together with the rest of the food? So where is it packed? Is it done already in the mission area? Is it done by the soldier to make the combination? Is it done somewhere in a factory? So where is that done? That's one question. And the other one is, do you think soldiers can give enough their feedback so that it feels like they have a personalized meal? Because feedback is general, so how do you make it more personalized?
Yeah, I can answer the last one. So in the app, the soldiers can give feedback. They can rate the meal they have eaten that day, and that will be sent directly to the people in the Netherlands who make these meals. So the feedback will be very fast, and then based on that feedback, they will think about how they can improve the meals or what specific components need to change. So that's on feedback.
Yeah, and we also want to explore the opportunity to use the app so that soldiers on a mission right there on the camp can choose between different parts of the meal or what they like. So then they have the opportunity to really personalize their meal at the moment they're going to eat it, or right before it.
All right. And the fresh food, where will that be combined with the rest of the meal?
We thought about the first meal that it will be separate, and that the first meal will be prepared by the kitchen employees, so that they also have more challenging. And that it can be done when it is possible, but when it's not possible, you can use the frozen food.
Okay, and where does the fresh food comes from?
We maybe thought local food can be possible.
All right, thank you.
Yellow, do you have other questions?
Yes, first a compliment to the acting qualities of everyone involved. So if this doesn't work out, there's always an alternative career for you. I also had questions about the supply chain. So if you're going to source food locally, what vulnerabilities do you see in that plan?
Well, we think that using local foods, local ingredients will only be, can only be done when it's on a long mission. If you have a short mission, then it won't be. Then you can do that because you also have to be sure that food quality is up to standards, and you don't want to take risks with that. So the quality of the food and the risk should be assessed before you can use local foods, and we think that's only doable on long missions. But we have to do a little bit further investigation on how we're going to do that, but that's what we think of it right now.
Okay, thanks. And I was wondering about the feedback you collect from the soldiers. So I'm expecting that to be very diverse, because you have very diverse soldiers as well. So how are you going to link that personal feedback to a personalized plan for that specific soldier?
We also thought that they can use the app to choose different compartments together, so that you have more personalization.
Yeah, and for instance, if there's a feedback that one compartment is cooked way too long, then that's very easy to incorporate because you then have to just cook it shorter. And we're going to see what comes out the most of it. If it's tastes too salty, that's our all relatively simple adaptation to compartments that can be made based on this feedback.
Okay, so besides personalization, there's also general feedback that should improve the overall quality. Okay, good, interesting. Okay, nice idea. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Team 3. And we'll take another short break to let the next team come on stage.
Okay, we're ready here.
Okay.
You're ready?
Yes.
Go.
Okay. My name is Hannah. I represent Team 4 and we are the food fighters. After a long corona year of studying alone at home, I got to see my fellow students for the first time today, and it was awesome. I think this feeling is recognizable for many fellow students because it's happy and joyous. This is the same feeling that soldiers experience when they are on a mission and they get their meals served. They are far away from home in a hostile environment, and this meal is what they look forward to every day. Therefore, we want to take you through our ideas of how to give them this warm feeling. We were facing two challenges. We want to improve the sustainability and also improve the user experience. So, we created two focus points. Let me begin with sustainability. We want to reduce the amount of food and plastic waste. We also want to reduce the consumption of meat, and we want to shorten the supply chain. Secondly, we have the user experience. Therefore, we want to include more challenging preparation for the chefs, allow more personalization for the meals, and we want to improve the user experience. So, in 2014, still 20% of the food was wasted. We want to reduce this number by matching better the amount of food that is needed with the actual operational needs. On top of that, we want to reduce plastic waste by incorporating more reusable materials, and we also want to include the shortening of the supply chain. And also we want to incorporate the reverse supply chain, in which we bring back the waste, we ship it back to the Netherlands again. So, as for the more challenging preparation, we want to include more fresh and local foods. This will improve the taste of the meals, and at the same time it will give a more challenging job to the chefs. So we want to make the operators to become chefs again, because that's more rewarding than actually cooking something instead of just warming up. So this was Hannah from the Food Fighters. If you want the food quality to be at home as good as on your mission, join our revolution.
I do hope it's the other way around. The food at home is good on a mission. Oh, I'd rather.
Thank you. Does your team want to join you on stage? Please put on your mouth masks again then. And I would like to ask Berdine if she wants to be the first to react to this pitch.
And do you need the extra microphone, maybe?
Yes, we do. Thank you. 2 microphones.
That's okay. Thank you for your presentation. It's very interesting and joyful. I have a question about how do you want to make the work more interesting for the cooks? Did you think about a solution for that?
Yeah, so what we were thinking was that the MSK right now don't have enough working space to prepare like a salad or something. So we were thinking about having a larger MSK with like a in-uitklapbaar table to work on and prepare actual meals.
Okay, and they will prepare whole meals or part of the meals?
Mostly part of the meals, yeah.
And what part of the meal do you think about?
Well, that was a matter of food safety, so it's not always, fresh food is not always available, but we want to incorporate the fresh food that is available into the meals, and that will most likely be like grains that is safe, but maybe also a side salad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Mark, can I ask you to take over the mic?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. I have a question. I'm curious about the chefs. Why is it for you important to make the meals by chefs? Not under other technology or 3D printing.
So while we're still using humans instead of machines?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we think it's a very important occupation and that not everything can be replaced by technology.
And in the foreseeable future, I don't think it's really, well, we are not able to accomplish a kitchen where only machines are present. So for the time being, maybe in the future, when we don't need humans anymore, but for now, the goal is to make the work of the operators more challenging. So they have to feel more like a chef again. We talked to the operators today, and it's only warming up the meals and putting it in the steam kitchen, and they, well, it could be more joyous for them.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's for me.
Thank you. Maarten, do you have additional questions for this team?
Yeah, well, one tip in addition to what Mark just said, because I really think we need machines. The more, the merrier. And of course, you have spoken to all those people that really want to make a nice meal for the soldiers, and of course they should. I mean, that's what they are there for, and it's in their heart to prepare a proper meal. But we need personnel extensive solutions as much as possible. It's very hard to get enough people, especially in this branch of the army. So I really want to challenge all the teams to just think of personnel extensive solutions. It's important for us. And it's not only about today, this solution, because we procure this concept, this mobile food kitchen, for the upcoming 15 years. So that's one. And the other thing, maybe you can stipulate a bit more on, is in all these briefings, I heard a lot about personalization. And I think it's a good thing if we can make it work. But how can we make it work if people use an app or whatever way they will let the cooks or send it back to the Netherlands know what their preferences are? How do we get all those meals prepared somewhere in the Netherlands or at the MSK at the right time, at the right soldier, in the right combinations, while they're moving and while they're doing their actions? How do you see that?
That's a very good question. Thank you. First, let me respond to your first point. We will take that into account when doing the further research. And in answer to your second point, well, we were thinking about personal in the kitchen, and if you create more like a buffet kind of situation where soldiers pick up their meals, they can personalize it by just saying, well, today I'm not very fond of potatoes, I will go for a rice meal today. And tomorrow I will pick rice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's good.
About it that way.
All right, I think it's good to know that the soldier is not coming to the kitchen to pick up his meal. There are logistical units that they get to the kitchens. They store it in those boxes, these insulated boxes, and they bring it somewhere. This transport unit brings it somewhere where the soldiers are. So in the darkness, under difficult circumstances, maybe when they're tired. So how do they easily get the right meal to the right soldier? I don't need an answer now, but that's something you all have to think of.
Yes, thank you.
And I think that's something for every team to think of. So we're getting wiser by the minute here. Thanks for that. We're gonna switch to the next team. So thank you all, and good luck with the rest of the preparations. And we're gonna mute for a little while so team 5 can come to the main stage.
decide to start, okay? Go.
Currently, 2 out of 5 soldiers wish for more variety within their diet. Also, 3 out of 5 soldiers are not satisfied with the taste of the current food. Therefore, we came up with a new food concept. To increase satisfaction regarding taste as well as variety, we want to break down the meal into different components. In this way, we can provide personalized meals to the soldiers. Besides, we can optimize preparation of each component to deliver a better dining experience. So I wanted to introduce you to Auke, who is also here live. So he's currently a soldier. Besides, he's also a teacher, and he really likes doing cool activities with his motorcycle. And regarding his diet, he really dislikes rice and can be considered a vegetarian. Auke is going on a mission in 2 weeks, and now he has to submit his preferences for the meals he wants to consume. This is done by using an app. This is the first time Auke is using the app, so the first thing he needs to do is fill in some basic information like his weight, his height, his dislikes, so the rice, and also that he's following a vegetarian diet. The next step is planning the meals, so the meal planning. And how does this work? So Auke can choose between different options for proteins, carbohydrates, and vegetables, and then he can consume his own personal meal. Afterwards, the app shows him the nutrient values and the energy values, so he knows what's exactly in the meal. And when he comes back from the mission, he can give feedback, and with this feedback, the meals can be improved. Personalized taste and satisfaction are all possible within our concept. Auke will do his part to make his voice heard. So now it's up to you to help him and his fellow soldiers.
Thank you.
Can I have one of your microphones? I will need that. Yeah. So Jelle, can I ask you for a first reaction?
Yes, thank you very much for the very personalized presentation as well. So this is very much focused on giving each user its own personal meal. You already, well, let them fill it in beforehand. That's just from a practical point of view a good idea, I'd say. So I was wondering, how far will you let the user go in deciding their own diet? Imagine, for instance, I am a soldier who is really into chocolate bars. Will you let me live on chocolate bars for a whole mission?
Yes, thank you for the question. We will not give the soldiers choice from everything they can think of possibly, like for example chocolate. Of course, it will also be looked at if the food they can choose from is healthy. And this can be done, for example, in a survey, a survey that was already also done earlier to look what do the soldiers want, but also what is good for the soldiers that are in the field. And then a selection will be made that they can choose from in the app. So that there is a wide variety, but they can't choose from everything because that will also be too hard to have everything available at all times in the field.
Sounds like a good idea, yes. Yeah, I actually want to steal Maarten's question about how you're going to get this to the soldiers in the field.
We're currently working on that, so we thought maybe we're gonna do it like with kind of like a barcode system or something. But yeah, that's our next steps we want to take. How's the logistic behind it? Because yeah, it's really challenging.
Okay, good answer. Thank you very much.
Can I ask Betty to get your feedback?
choose this one.
Thank you for your presentation.
I have a question about the condition of the components you want to use. Will it be fresh food or will it be frozen foods? Have you thought about it?
Yes, we've already thought about it. We've also contacted some of the current suppliers already, and we found out that it would be really hard to get always fresh foods to the field. But we are looking into different options. So, for example, not storing all the food at -20 or even lower, but some food that might be stored in another way with maybe new technologies. So they can be stored, for example, at ambient temperature to also save energy on the storage. So we're currently still looking at that with some suppliers, but it would be good to not all store it frozen, also for the meal experiments. Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. It's a good idea to think about more solutions than only frozen foods. Well, the question was already asked, how do you get the right food to the right person? And also, how do you have all the meals components in the right volume in stock to deliver fast? Because sometimes there will be a moment, okay, within 2 weeks we will go to an exercise and then the meals must already be available. So that's something to take into account. That's it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Mark, you have any questions for this team?
So, good presentations. Thank you for that. Question from me. How do you think about the cooking tools from to prepare the meals, or what for machines, materials you think to use in the future?
We were thinking about like if it's really smart to use the same steamers that are currently in the in the MSK. So we are looking for new alternatives. For instance, I think there's some kind of like microwaves and like big that can as well save energy and give like a more even distribution of heat to the food. So yeah, but we as well, as we said earlier, we are still like considering if maybe they want to have a fresh food option, because when we talked to soldiers today, they really said, yeah, we want to have the opportunity to prepare our own fresh food. So then we have to consider, yeah, to have the right equipment as well for that.
Okay. What do you think about for storage? We talk about a lot of frozen products or chilled products. Is there a main solution to tackle that?
As I said, we're currently looking at new technologies. So if there's a chance that we actually can store the food maybe at -8 degrees, then we don't need that much energy as well to hold the food at -18 degrees. So yeah, then we're gonna kind of build our concept around that, and as well, the storage.
Okay, thank you. That's for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys, for a nice presentation. We will take just a 5-minute break. I think that's for people who are online, that is something that can be needed, because we're moving around, but you guys are just sitting behind your screen. So I'm gonna ask Team 6 to be here at 10 minutes past 4, and then we still have 5 teams to go. So if you're all back at 10 past 4, then we'll continue with the next team.
We're almost ready here for the next.
Did you test it if it works with the, oh, I think that's, yeah, it does work, yeah.
Yes.
And click from one page to the next.
Okay, so.
Yeah, it's the one to the right, yeah.
Dus doe het, we gaan even de sheet op.
Yeah.
You guys are ready?
Ready?
Okay, people, we're starting. Hold on, on my cue. Let's go.
This probably looks familiar to everybody here. It's soldiers, a part of a unit. They fight together, they live together, but most importantly, they also eat together. They almost have to function as a single organism to achieve their mission. And the current MSK has been designed based on this concept. It's a one-size-fits-all idea that's very well suitable in delivering meals for these large units. But times are changing. When you look at this picture, you no longer see just a unit, but individual soldiers with their own personal needs and preferences that need to be taken into account when designing a new food concept. But in addition to these personal needs, also the needs of the planet needs to be taken into account. Because sustainability is a big issue, and we believe in the current MSK system, there's a lot of room for improvement. So our team, the Food Innovation Task Force, has come up with a number of innovative solutions that we have categorized into our 3 main spear points.
So the 3 main spear points are self-sustaining, flexibility, and food satisfaction. We want to achieve self-sustaining by using renewable energies, like solar or wind turbines, and using heat pumps instead of boilers. Also, we want to have a circularity, so we want to have our waste as energy source and water purification. Next to that, we want to have a program in which we track our waste and track our energy so that we can learn from the program. Next, we want also more flexibility by adapting to the environment. So when we have a country where there is a lot of sun, we use more solar panels. Also, we want to have a mobile system by using lighter materials and using wheels, so it's easier to transport. Here you can see how we think about our presentation, and we want also partial fresh foods. And here you can see how we want to have feedback from our soldiers. So they can bring in their feedback and we send it to the supplier.
So our team, the Food Innovation Task Force, is really looking forward to cooperating with you into improving the current MSK concept, because that MSK part outside there might be painted green, but we're actually going to make it green.
Thank you.
Can I just hold your microphone? Yeah. Because I would like to go to our online panel first. Marta, can I ask you to react to the pitch?
Yes, thank you for your presentation.
Maybe just wait a second before we
Yeah,
roll on.
I wait. Yeah.
Otherwise, they won't be able to hear you.
And I guess there's an echo.
Take care of the distance, not too close together. Great.
Yes, there's
Marta,
echo in
go.
the system. Okay, yeah, I'll try. But there's a kind of echo. Anyway, thanks guys for this this briefing and all the work you've done to make this plan, because I can see that you have more an overall concept approach, which I like. So job well done so far. Also in your concept is something about personalization of food, like with all the others. So my question therefore is, what needs to be changed in this whole supply chain? Because you're also speaking of renewable energy and reducing the footprint. So it has a relation with this personalization of food. So what needs to be changed in this whole supply chain to make this happen? This personalized meals, because it's more easy, of course, for 10,000 soldiers to order rice for everybody. But now if you want to personalize, it has an impact on the supply chain and also in the combination with raw materials, local food production, and So how do you see that, and did you consider that?
When we talk about personalization, we're talking about an overall improvement of meal quality, not just per individual soldier, but also as an average. So in terms of supply chain, I think this would be renewed maybe every 6 months or a year based on what we learn. And additionally, when we talk about particular continents and with fresh food, maybe we could look into seasonal suppliers who are more near to wherever the MSK has to be. So that is something that we can consider, as well as the overall energy and waste collection and reuse system is something we will consider during the supply chain as well.
Yeah, so thank you. Okay, I think that's important for everybody to just think a little bit steps further than just we have the concept. It is located somewhere in a mission area on an exercise, because of course, and you probably have thought about it, food should get there. It should be prepared in a way. So it's that makes the concept. The meal is, of course, obviously only the final product. And the other thing is what I would like to ask or give you a thought on how mobile is the renewable energy ideas you have, because we need this mobile concept.
Well, of course, we have to look more into it, but we have some very interesting concepts, for example, including foldable solar panels on the roof of the MSK. And also one very interesting concept we want to explore is a company in the United States that produces mobile wind turbines that can be towed in a trailer by just a regular pickup truck. And they can power up to 6 homes. So we hope that concepts like this could also maybe applied for powering the MSK or the future food concept, but also like more a general idea of power for military bases in areas of deployment.
Interesting. I'm interested, so I would like to know more about that. And but always bear in mind, we those mobile food kitchens, they should operate under all circumstances, all weather conditions, day and night. All right.
Thank you. Jelle, can you give your feedback?
Yes, nice concept. Nice to see that there's different aspects to your plan as well, different departments, so to say. I was also mainly triggered by the idea of a self-sustaining mission, so to say. So I can imagine that this must be interesting to the Ministry of Defense as well, to have a completely self-sustainable concept. So why do you think this hasn't happened yet? What is the bottleneck that the ministry is running into?
So I think because of they now are based on oil, and oil is everywhere available. And for example, the wind is not everywhere available, or the solar, the sun. So that's why oil is very reliable.
Yes, the key word I was looking for is reliable indeed. So how are you going to solve that reliability issue and make the self-sustainability possible?
Yeah, we have to look into that further, but we thought maybe about making as much as possible self-sustainable if it's not possible to have it completely on solar panels and completely on wind. So maybe, have still the oil option.
Backup.
The backup, yeah.
Okay, just some food of thought I'd like to give with that is that there's an obvious trade-off here between becoming more sustainable and staying as reliable. And well, I don't want to fill it in for the ministry, but I can imagine that the effectiveness of a mission is more important than the efficiency, so to say. So keep in mind that in the end, the result of a mission is primarily important. Well, I want to stick with that.
Thank you. Mark, do you have a question for this team?
Yes, thanks for the presentations. For the renewable energy, there are a lot of solutions, wind, sun. How do you manage that, the consumption of the energy? when you need the sun, when you need the wind, when you need the oil.
So all of this energy that is collected by the wind, sun, oil will all be, of course, stored first. And we do have to measure and manage how much can be stored, what is the surrounding situation and environment going to be like. So these are things that we have been thinking about. Of course, we don't have a solution for it yet, but we will definitely look into it.
And then you think about storage of energy, battery or something
Yeah,
in
we're
that
thinking
case?
about a battery system.
Okay.
And after that, we're also thinking of making with the app, but also a program of a whole, and then in that we can trace the waste we use and also the amount of energy we get from the waste and also the energy that is required in the whole system, so that the not a person but a system, a program in behind regulates from, okay, there's not enough sun, we need to get energy here, we need to get energy there. If it's all very bad, it gives a signal, and then someone from the MSK can say, okay, we need the backup oil still. But so yeah, the IDE's have a program which does everything.
And how do you see the waste? Who take you energy from the waste?
Yeah, so there are two options which we looked in. It was anaerobic digestion and combustion methods. And we are also thinking about using bio-based plastics, so then it's not as bad for you with the toxic elements. And oh yeah, so there's in the same program we have a waste collection. And then we also found like different companies which have portable combustion, which you can put it in and then you get the energy, and then that will be guided to the same energy bill.
And who's deal with that, with the footprint? The total system? Is that a point of question about it? Is it growing the footprint, or you make it smaller?
Yeah, I think we make it smaller, but we need to research that.
Of course, when it comes to footprint, we'll have to look at every component. So in the supply chain, what materials we use, how we're treating them, how the waste is collected, etc. So we do believe that with our system, the overall footprint would decrease, but maybe a particular footprint may increase.
Okay, that's for later. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks guys. Great. So the next team can come to the main stage.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm Kasia and I'll be speaking today on behalf of the team Cavalry Infantry.
Does it work?
Yeah.
If not, I'll press
Okay.
this to the next.
Well, as you all know, because we know it from you, the meals of the MSK are not rated all that well. They are currently rated at a 2.2 out of 5 because a lot of the food is soggy, it's plain, and a lot of it's cost because it's been heated a long time in advance. Additionally to that, the meals which are thrown away on a yearly basis cost around 450,000 euros, which is probably only just the tip of the iceberg. These are two major problems which we will solve by implementing a barcode system. In this, each soldier has a personal barcode, which is scanned at a sort of McDonald's-like ordering screen. There, the meal preparations can be entered, and after which the person can go about their daily business. Then, when they come back, they scan again their barcode at the MSK, and their meal quickly is prepared for them, after which the barcode is reset and it can be done again the next day. So in this system, the system knows at what time a person will eat, and and the dietary restrictions. And additionally, the system also knows the expected energy used by the person in a day. The person will enter at the screen. They will choose from a limited amount of options what they want to eat, and they can specify a quantity as well to eat more or less a day than they normally do. And after they've received the meal, those entered options will be removed again, and it can be used again the next day. In this system, we create multiple choices for people, and the quantity of food can be personalized. This will expectedly increase the consumer satisfaction from a 2.2 to a 4.0. Additionally, we expect to reduce food waste. We expect to reduce plastic waste by the use of biodegradable packaging and cutlery with about 4.8 kilograms per person per month. And we expect to save about 150,000 euros in cost by food which is not thrown away because the meals are nicer to eat and the portion sizes are better adapted to the person in question. So in our barcode scanning system, we will help soldiers and servers to enjoy eating food on missions and reducing food waste by improving the dining experience with personal meal choices and a modular kitchen. So in conclusion, we want to create a dining experience with personal choices and reduce the preparation time of food. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do you have the other mic?
Yeah, I do. And it's up and running.
Great. Ready for now to start while the team is coming to the stage. I'll already give you the mic.
Well, thank you for your presentation. I have a question about the amount of stock which will be needed in the area of exercise or mission to provide all the different preferences of the soldiers, because they fill in their preference. They say, okay, I'll be in a few hours. I'll be at the dining room. I want to eat something which I've ordered. What's the time lapse between ordering and picking up the meals?
We're thinking of at least 4 hours before they need to order it to maybe 4 to 24 hours in advance.
Okay, and how will the food be prepared? Will it be prepared within those 4 hours, or will there be a stock with a certain amount of varieties of food?
Yeah. So basically, we wanted it to be kind of the same as an airplane, so there is choice, but there is of course limited choice. And we also thought of doing maybe like a questionnaire in advance to mission, so we could already get sort of an indication and an estimation of what soldiers might be choosing. And then from there we would just, I think Auke said that right now they also add like 10% extra just in case there's more needed, and so we want to do that as well with our system.
Okay, and have you also taken into account that not everyone the same amount? There will be difference in wishes in portions?
Yeah, we did also take that into account. And, wanting to look into multi-portions and yeah, different sizing availability. So yeah.
Okay, and with milk portion, it's easier to switch in amounts. And have you also thought about food which which must go into the field, to the soldiers in the field? Then multi portions, maybe it's a bit difficult about food hygiene. What will be your solution for those people?
Yeah, we are kind of thinking of the hybrid of multi-portion and single portion. So ideally, the kitchen can measure the one portion amount and dispense.
Okay,
like one.
So the kitchen will make packages with the difference in amounts, and those packages
Yeah,
will
put in the
go.
bulk in the kitchen, but given in a one portion.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Mark, can I invite you?
So, it's a good presentation. Thank you for that. I see the plastic waste is decreased. And how do you see the packing of the meals? Is that in plastic, bioplastics, or something else?
We were thinking, I think maybe biodegradable packaging to just keep it as simple as possible, that all the cutlery and all packaging and everything is just as biodegradable as the food that might be left in it, so it can all be thrown away in one same thing, and then it's only biodegradable waste.
And you were thinking about collect all the waste in what for system, or?
We don't have a real waste system thought out, I think, but by keeping it all one single kind of waste, there's no need for separation, which would be easy.
What do you think about the energy consumption of the system?
What do you mean, how to power the MSK?
Yeah, do you have the power, but for energy, renewable energy?
Yeah,
or
we also came up with some solutions for that. So we had the green energy mill tower, and we also found some solar panels which we could put on top of the containers, so that could be really easily implemented into the system, because then the container would be the storage for the energy, and then on top that could be the powering, where the power would be generated.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Okay, thanks. Jelle, do you have a final remark for this team?
Yes, just a short question about the how you're going to achieve less food waste in this system. When I hear multiple choices for the consumer, I expect to generate more waste because, of course, you have to have all the options in stock, and then something is not going to be consumed. So, but at the same time, I hear you saying that this system will actually reduce the food waste. So, where's this reduction coming from?
So one thing which we expect a reduction from is if the food is enjoyed more, then people will also not want to waste it more. So that's one factor. I don't know if.
Yeah, the meal selection is the individual level, but if we collect what people ordered and what was consumed, this data can be serve as the improvement for the next order, and we have a better estimation.
So that's actually a supply chain optimization then?
Yes, that is in a group level, okay. Yes.
Yeah, good. Okay, and then just a small remark I'd like to say. I very much advise you to look into what biodegradable materials you're going to use specifically, because to my knowledge, the biodegradable part of that term is often very specific to certain conditions to prevent them not biodegrading while they're not being used yet. So yeah, look into how you're going to do that on site as well. Very nice presentation, by the way.
Nice presentation. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And the next team can go to the main stage. Okay, we're ready for the next page. Are you ready? Yeah? Then let's go.
Hi, we're Operation Dinner Time. I will present to you our concepts for the Dutch Army. I want to first say that food is very important, not only for your health, but also for your morale and your performance. And right now, the food of the army doesn't really contribute to these things. Because to be honest, when you look at this, you probably don't get very hungry right away. Right now, the soldiers give 2 out of 5 stars for their food. So that could be better, right? With our new concept, we would like to increase sustainability, satisfaction, and suitability to make happier soldiers. We have 4 focus points: food, logistics, packaging, and the MSK. Let me start off with food. We would like to combine menus, for example, combine a vegetarian and a vegan menu to decrease logistic mistakes and increase the efficiency. We would like less meat in our menus because meat replacers keep getting better and better and it's more sustainable. And we will make a nutrient intake framework, so we will see exactly how many nutrients the soldiers need and incorporate this into our menus. In the future, we would like more personalized foods with a personal cost. Then, for logistics, we want a QR code on our inventory boxes so we can trace them during transport and they don't get lost. And in the long term, we would like a hybrid form of renewable energy and fossil fuels. Then, for the packaging, we would like to reuse over recycle because it's more sustainable. So, for example, use the food containers and then send it back to the manufacturer so they can use it again. And we want to incorporate smart labels that indicate the freshness of the food to see if it's still edible. For the MSK, we want a portable steam oven that allows you to heat food on the go, but that you can also use to increase your capacity of your MSK. We also prefer chilled foods over frozen foods, not fully go for chilled food, but both, because you need less energy during storage. The food is experienced as fresh, and also you need less heating time for your food. And then finally, we want a flexible kitchen concept. Every mission is different, so why would your kitchen be the same every time? So we want a modular kitchen with compartments that you can switch up per mission. So for example, in a hot climate, you will have more freezing capacity, and in a cold climate, more boiling capacity. With this, we hope to provide for a flexible kitchen, flexible food, and a flexible future. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, Maarten, can I ask you to first react?
Yes, of course.
Oh, just wait for the team again.
Go ahead.
I'm sure it was nicely presented all by yourself, and but I must be honest, and I did not really get all of it because of the bad sound and the quite flattened screen. So I have to do it with the bits and pieces I got. As far as I understood, this QR code, the other group also briefed on it. I think it's a good idea. I'm not a logistical officer, but I can imagine it solves a lot of problems. But to what extent, to what level, to the individual soldier, to a logistical unit, is that idea being used in your concept? So what is your thought on that?
The idea of the QR code on the boxes is mainly for the operators up to the logistic center into Badmen. So we know for sure that all the foods are arriving at the right missions. And we also know for sure that all the diet foods, vegetarian meals also end up in the right spaces.
All right. But I can tell you that is already being done, of course, now with barcodes. So that is not a new thing then, all right? Okay, and what I like in your plan is that you approach the challenge on different levels and in different areas. Also, I think you're the first ones that really get more to the point on the MSK. especially with this modular kitchen thought. But you mentioned also this less preparation time. Can you elaborate where do you find the win of this to reduce the preparation time in the concept?
I'll take this as well. Okay, so with having chilled foods over frozen food, the temperature difference that we need to cover within the steamer is far less than what we originally had. So the regeneration time right now is 60 minutes, and hopefully we can reduce that to like 30 minutes or something. But we have to measure it and find out for ourselves.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Mark, can I ask you to react?
Yes. So, thank you for your presentation, nice presentation. The vegetables, I heard you have vegetables in your menu. How do you think to change we have now a lot of meat in the meals. How do you change? Is there what for products you thought for the future?
Our current plan is to make a framework of the recommended daily requirements of all nutrients. That way we can clearly define what nutrients exactly are in meat, which we would like to cover with vegetables. So once we cover which minerals, which vitamins, which macronutrients are really in meat, then we can also figure out which vegetables specifically can replace that. With a very clearly defined framework, we totally replace everything with meat. Yes. So we'll figure it out once we define the framework.
When you translate these ingredients to real products, what for products I can expect then? Is this plants or insects?
Mainly plants, probably. We haven't really looked at insects. We haven't. I don't think we will really cover that. We think that most plants can cover the nutrients in meat.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. It's a very complete presentation, almost the whole scope of the issue we're dealing with. I just want to have another question about the meat. Mark also mentioned it. My question is more how to change the attitude of the soldiers, because the most sound I heard is we want more meat. So I think we also have to change the attitude of the soldiers to accept to have less meat. For the environment, it's better to have less meat, but it must also be accepted. Have you thought about it? How to convince them?
Well, we have thought about education a little bit. So we couldn't present all of our ideas in this pitch because it's so short, but we have thought about it. So we would like to firstly educate the soldiers through the labels. So for example, by putting the CO2 emissions on there and what the effects are of that. Now, not detailed effects, but that they see at least that it's not that good for the environment. And this way we hope to kind of change this attitude with them.
Okay. I think it's, well, it's a challenge. Let me put it that way. Also, you said something about combining menus, but it was a little bit too fast for me, so I didn't understand it quite.
So we don't want to combine all the menus, but for example, we think like the vegan menu and the vegetarian menu, they are very easy to combine, and then you will have less logistic errors, we hope, because you have less different meals to look at.
Okay, I said. You also said about the advantage of chilled food in comparison to frozen food. I agree with you, it needs less energy. But what about the logistic chain? When you work with chilled foods, the shelf life is shorter at this moment, lot shorter than frozen foods. And we also have to have a stock with our supplier or in the fields to provide a lot of meals in a very short time. So normally our supplier has a stock, but the supplier doesn't know when we will need the meals. So then at the moment he has to make a very fast production. Did you think about prolonging the shelf life of chilled products?
Yes, we actually thought about it a lot. For the stock, like the long-term stock in case of an emergency, like a hurricane in the islands, in those cases, frozen foods would be the option, indeed, because you cannot supply that stock with chilled foods. But for all possible cases, we do want to go to chilled foods. And the only problem that we currently could find is with Marco, with the producer. If you have a supply of every 3 days, and the current shelf life of the foods is at least 8 days, which is already fine in the stores, then it's actually possible. So if Marco is willing to collaborate in this, and if they can provide us with the production on time, when we need it, it's definitely possible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone. Great. So good luck with taking this all into the next steps of your concept. And we will be moving to the next team.
The last presentation of today.
Okay, hold on guys, we're almost ready here. Whenever you're ready, go.
Hello everyone, I'm Jane Delvis and I'm presenting with Johan Kleij today our solution for the MSK. And so I want to introduce you to Helene. Helene is a soldier and she's far away from home and comes to the camp after a long day. Well, she gets her food, she opens it and she sees this textureless meal with dry chicken, and then she realized, wait, yesterday I even had the same meal. How is this even possible?
So currently the mobile satellite kitchen can also be described as a mobile food factory. But we want to improve this by creating a satisfying experience through adding innovative elements to the preparation process to achieve better well-being of the soldiers. We will do so by creating a satisfying environment because the food will be more enjoyable, the experience of eating will be improved and is tailored to meet the end-user requirements. The innovative elements consist of modular containers which contain new kitchen elements that provide different possibilities when it comes to cooking. We believe that good food results in better health and a better mental health. This will be achieved by providing fresh and nutritious food which will positively impact the microbiome, while also paying attention to little indulgence such as a bit of bone.
So in our solution, we see Helene going to the base after a tough day
And she can herself go to the MSK and choose what she wants that day. But more important, we want to add an element that she can add a guilty pleasure to what she wants that day. Does she really crave a healthy salad? Then she gets herself a healthy salad. Or does she maybe want a fried bitterball? Then she gets a fried bitterball.
So the coming weeks we will further develop these ideas. A redefined modular kitchen, so broken parts can easily be replaced. A new cooking cauldron, which will be installed, where food can be freshly and separately cooked. A vertical farm will supply additional fresh vegetables and fast-growing fungi. A fryer will be added to indulge in snacks every once in a while, such as the bitterball. Overall, the eating experience will be improved because the meals will be served right out of the kitchen, fresh on a plate, out of a hatch. Thank you for listening to our ideas. We would love to hear your opinions.
Great, thanks. Can I have one of your mics? Not both. Leave that here. I hope the sound was better for you guys online. Yeah, can I ask you to be the first one? Oh, sorry, Martin, not that good. We're trying. Yeah, can I ask you first to give your feedback?
Yes, it's getting better. Thanks. I was wondering, Helene also has some options when she comes back to the base based on her preferences. So how will you, from an organizational level, choose what you will take on a mission and what you will not? So if you look at the supply chain and all the different preferences from the end users, where will you place a cutoff on what you will not take for them?
Nice question. Right now, we developed some solutions that we thought would be nice. For instance, a vegetarian bitterball. But then the point you make is very valid. Yeah, we aim now to develop one specific new product. So we can add it to the MSK and look how that turns out and if that's possible, and add later on more products. But I understand your point, and yeah, we should really take it into account.
Okay, thanks. Interesting. So what will your new product, what will you take into account when designing the product?
That the soldiers can provide it themselves, they can produce it themselves. So they grow the fungi and they make the bitterball themselves.
Okay, so accessibility and robustness, so to say.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
It means also that they can cook something themselves again. So not everything is heated up, but they do have the creativity to make something themselves.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks. Marta?
Yes, thank you, Captain Cook. I like the guilty pleasure idea, and I love bitterball, so I'm voting for this one. My question is, what changes are required for the future mobile field kitchen to make this all happen? What's the impact on the kitchen?
Yeah, sorry. Was that the entire question, or did I cut you off? Okay. Today, we want to make an addition to the kitchen that is now available, maybe by adding just another container with the vertical farm in it. Just use one wall of the container, and we want to put the vegetables that need light on top and fungi on the bottom, so it all can grow. And with that extra room, we want to make more workspace for the cooks and add a fryer.
Okay, so then your footprint increases because you need more containers, more space actually.
Yes, that does.
So then I would like to challenge you to look on a solution that within the amount of containers we use at the moment to find the same solution, or see to what extent you can find this solution. Because we don't want to use more containers, we want to use less, because those containers need to be transported, needs to be set up, needs to be maintained, needs to be filled with gasoline, needs to be powered by generators, etc., etc. So it has a lot of impact. Just adding a couple of containers. So that's one thing to think of. My question is, what is your biggest challenge in your plan, and how would you mitigate that one?
Our biggest challenge was the satisfactory of the soldiers. We really want to get them food that they enjoy at the end of the day. So that was what we focused on. And for right now, I think you make a valid point with the footprint. So right now we have the ID that we want to create. So our challenge now is how we can incorporate it in a sustainable way.
All right, thank you.
Maybe do you have a final question?
Yes, you said you want more satisfaction for the user by creating a guilty pleasure. Do you also have a solution for not only the extra snack but for the whole meal? How can that be appreciated better than it's now appreciated?
Yeah, we thought about that, and yeah, we really also had some ideas on how to, for instance, make the entire meal a bit less mushy. But yeah, we had a lot of ideas, and yeah, right now this is a bit our focus. But if you say that we should broaden our focus more, I think we would like to listen to that as well. So, yeah, what would you advise?
Yes, I think it would be good to see how you can improve the meals, the acceptance of the meals, and also take into account that there can be a time lapse between preparing the meals and consuming the meals. Maybe there must be a solution to shorter the time lapse because now it's in the logistics that there's sometimes hours between it. Maybe that can also be part of the solution to have a better acceptance of the meals.
Yeah, okay.
Great, thanks. Thank you all. We're moving towards the final team who's gonna pitch. I hope you're all still with us online as well. We're going strong here. Okay, we are ready for the final pitch. So I'll give the floor to the last group. When you're ready, just go.
Okay. Imagine you're a soldier. For example, Soldier Bob. Soldier Bob comes back to the home camp after a long day on the field, and Bob is excited to have a meal to be refreshed again. But then Bob sees it's a plastic bag full of the same stuff he had yesterday, and it's all mushed together again. We want to help soldiers like Bob to have a more home-like experience for his food, which is reminiscent of home, while simultaneously making a future-proof concept, which complies to the European sustainability checkmarks, so we can keep on using it for many years to come. In order to help Bob, we want to create a comfortable home-like feeling to make the soldiers feel happy and energized again after their meal. We want happy cooks creating delicious meals for our soldiers. And we want to do it in a sustainable way, so all future Bobs and other soldiers can keep enjoying this way of preparing food. Our first solution to achieve this is going back to using normal plates. We think that using normal plates instead of plastic gives a more home-like feeling. And other than that, it helps for the sustainability. You can clean the plates to reuse them again, where plastic, you just have to throw it away.
Next to our future kitchen, we also want to freshen up the foods. We will do this by vertical farming of fresh herbs. So not the general food, but just like additions to spicing up the food. Also, we will cut fresh vegetables and fruits to have like more healthy food. The next solution is personalization. We will make a digital platform where the soldiers can enter their food preferences for the next meal, and then the cooks know how much to cook and what to cook. But we also will apply a machine learning algorithm on this to like predict better in the future how much food is needed, and to also adjust menu options, and this will also lead to reduction of waste. The next we want to use in a microwave-assisted thermal sterilization method to store the food instead of refrigerated food. This will cost less energy because you don't need a refrigerator to keep the food anymore, but the food also tastes more nice, and you don't have to add any additives or preservation methods. And the last thing we want to do is to have something for the energy. We want to use expandable solar panels as one way of energy source.
So we are Team Bob. We are the bunch of food boxes. We all have different academic backgrounds. The thing we have in common is that we like to think outside of the box. So our take-home message is that we want to make Bob feel at home again while making a future concept at the same time.
Great, thanks. The team will come to the stage. Mark, can you open the discussion? Thanks.
Good, thank you for the presentation. This is a very nice presentation. I'm curious, you may make it to home, like better experience. How do you see in the field make it home?
Yeah. First of all, better food does good food, good mood, we think. But also like make the tables a bit, like make the entire experience a bit better, so less simple. Make it a bit more cozy. Especially better food. Yeah.
Yeah, so recommend place. Also cleaning of that place. That consequence.
Yeah, we want to indeed have a dishwasher, but if the time is like really limited and plates and also
About the water consumption, is this result that you use washing machines or
yeah, we want to collect the water that dishwater uses and use a purifying system so we can reuse the same water. So we think that we don't need more water than we do now.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a question, and that's for. I see the focus is most of the time regarding the most easiest part, deliver food, personalized food, with amount. I think more challenging is growth of the fields. I think there must be more focus on that aspect. In the dining room, it's not so hard to give a better solution. Especially in the fields, it's very difficult. Think about solution also. I also like the new technique you mentioned, the nets technique. That technique very interesting for ambient temperature and will help us a lot with our energy. So thank you for bringing that solution.
Thanks so much. Philip, can I ask you to reflect?
Yes, I'd first like to ask you if you could place the microphone somewhere else, because I just entirely missed the last remarks. So I don't think the microphone very well catches what's said. So
I will carry it.
good, thanks. So I hope I won't repeat anything that has just been said. Just as in the first group, I'm mostly triggered by the vertical farming and local herb production, because I see a clear need being filled there with local fresh food production. So I'm wondering, what problems do you envision in the vertical farming herb production department?
We think the biggest problem will probably be that it grows slowly and we have a lot of people. So that's why we want to keep it focused on only growing herbs, because herbs grow really fast and they can have a big impact while you only have like a very little amount of it. Yeah, so that's how we want to solve that mainly.
Yeah. Okay, the reason why I think that's a good idea is because compared to other solutions, you're not introducing a lot of high impact changes on the logistics, I expect. So what do you expect of the users of the production system? What expertise do they need?
Yeah, they wouldn't need a lot of expertise. Maybe we have some cutting machines and stuff, so only operating them, and I don't think there'll be a special requirement, just some training would be enough, I guess.
Okay, good. Then the last question about using normal plates. So why doesn't the ministry do that already?
Maybe because the frozen meal is already packed and they just reheat it. So we thought maybe we can have a multi-portion thing so that we can reheat it and put it in the plates, serve it in the plates instead of single portion.
Okay, so it would mean that instead of just shipping the meals, you will be shipping the meals and earthenware plates. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, like bigger portions.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Martha, do you have any final remarks for this last team?
Yes. Thanks, team Bob. I wonder, maybe I have a couple of remarks more than questions, also considering the time. I wonder if you spoke to Bob, whoever Bob may be, but maybe that's a good idea. If you talk to Bob, to make sure your assumptions are correct. So does Bob like cozy places to eat when out in the field, or does he want to eat nutritional food in a fast manner? So something to look into. Who is Bob, and are your assumptions correct? The other thing about this reusable products, packaging or cutlery maybe. I think the answer is that we didn't use it so far because it is a lot of work to clean it and to bring it somewhere back to the supply center, have it cleaned, use it again. So it seems to me personal intensive instead of extensive. So if you come up with this idea, I fancy the idea, but make sure it fits in this approach that we want personal extensive solutions for all of it. Then another one, I think it's all applies to all groups that have the idea to personalize food and that people can order the size they think they would like to have. I think it's based on the assumption, and I wonder if that one is correct, that people can decide for themselves the best size portion of the portion they need. I think people tend, if they're hungry, to order the biggest ones they can get and then see later on if they would eat it, all of it. So my question is, does the food spill not get bigger instead of less if people can decide for themselves? So is there something smart you can think of to help them decide what size they need to really reduce the food spill instead of making it bigger because of personalization? And the other one, many groups, also this group, I think I saw the picture, make use of their cell phones of soldiers. So what if we cannot take our cell phones if we are on a patrol or in any action? And what if all those cell phones get jammed by the enemy? Is there a backup plan, a backup way to make sure people still get the food they like in time at the right place? So not answers for me to really answer now on, but some thoughts at the end after having heard all these groups that you can maybe think of and get your head around before we see each other in June. Thank you all.
Thanks. Thank to this group as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So, well, this was the final presentation of today.
This was the final presentation of today. This is better, right?
Yes.
Hold on. I think we saw really great pictures today, and on top of that, the students received really good feedback from our experts, not just on the pictures, because but also on the whole concept and everything that they need to think of and work out further. So I would like to thank the expert panel here in the room and also online, all four of you. Thanks a lot for your input. I think you really helped the students so far. And then I would like to give the word back to Michelle. Do you have any final thoughts?
Well, I would like to thank the expert panel as well. Very valuable feedback, and I think it's good incentive for all the teams to continue working on their concepts. And I would really like to thank also the organization of today. Of course, you, Sabine, of being there offline, helping the students, and also Maartje, our informal client, who did a lot of preparational activities to make this day a success. And I would really like to wish all the students a safe journey back home. And I hope you enjoyed the offline meetings. And I'm looking forward to the next steps in the challenge.
Yeah, I think we all are indeed. And for us today, it was already sort of a field trip, being here surrounded by soldiers and having tasted the meals. And of course for the team seeing and meeting each other real life for the first time. So thanks everyone for today. I think it's been a great day and up to the next phases of the challenge.
Yeah, let's hope we can meet in person in June.
Well done, everybody.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.